guys, I wanted to create this video and give you some of my keynotes that perhaps can bring some release from fear. I got here that you need to see that as something natural. That helped me during my life to accept the process as something natural and something that is mentioned in the Gita is that, well, you're right, the soul is never born and never dead, so it's immortal. And that is something that Marcus Aurelius mentioned as death as something natural, Jesus Christ as well. And again, this is a keynote that I got from you that can help you. Also, you need to be satisfied. Contentment is something so powerful for a human being, to ground yourself, to surrender, to be satisfied, to be contentment. Why? Because you will see that you are not in control of life. You're not. So you can only control the experience, meaning how you interpret the experience, the internal dialogue that is going in your mind. That's the only thing that you can control, meaning your thoughts, how you perceive life. Life will just continue moving forward, let's say. So contentment. And so life is truly the expression of everything in just an individuality, and we are just expression of source, right? Source is everything, and we are just an expression of source, playing this role of individuality. Take care of your center, meaning the internal world, the inner world, and realize that the rest is just part of you. I really love this quote that how is it that you realize that it is gold? You need to test it with fire. You need to test it with fire. That's the only way of how you can realize it is gold. And I believe that this statement applies to human beings as well. How is it that you realize that is a good soul? Well, you need to test it. During difficult situation, for example, I know that this is from the Bible or coming from, the stories of David, but how is it that God, the universe, can give a good character, a good, amazing example for history? Is by David becoming himself king by defeating Goliath in front of the crowd, in front of the people. So it was the people who chose David, by how David, he just stood pure in his heart, and he survived. And I believe that life can be something like this. It put us in difficult situations, and it's up to us to demonstrate if there is goal. I really hope that you got my message, because life can be something like that, and you need to require to maintain yourself pure. And this remind me of the different stories about Marcus Aurelius, how even he was betrayal, Jesus Christ the same thing, but he kept himself pure. He could be rage, he could be angry, he could make assassination, disasters, I don't know, right? But character is something very important for those human beings who understand character. Why? Because you are constantly being tested by life. You are being tested by life. So remain calm. Mm, yes, about fear. Already I have shown you many other videos about patience. In my understanding about how the Miyamoto Musashi specifically talking about patience. Wow, those who really understand it, who are so anxious, expecting to receive. Again, as I said, to die is to be liberated from it. That one from Bruce Lee helped me a lot to understand this game, let's say, right? To surrender, to let go of ambitions, to surrender towards life, to start loving life, to change your thoughts about life and let it let it flow. The new identity is something that I find out amazing once I understood more about this subject. And you know, we see how people take their own life because of suffering, because of depression, because of life circumstances. And what I have found out is that is actually is the ego, the identification towards life that just doesn't want to continue suffering. The mind is telling you this is suffering, this is not nice, we don't like to do this, we want another situation. Why you don't, I don't know, right? Just giving you an example. But that is the mind, that is the identification of the mind. And as Krishna, he said, the mind could be your biggest friend, your biggest ally, or your biggest enemy. Damn, mind. It was you all the time. Yeah, it was the mind all the time. So you start programming yourself. You start with new thoughts, with new identification for the ego. Who said that this is suffering? I am the best. I love to do exercises. I love life. I love the present moment. I'm always in the present moment. I love my life. I love myself. I love this. I love. And you are now constantly with a new identification of life. Is it suffering? It doesn't seem like suffering now. Seems beautiful. Wow, this is the new concept that I'm giving to the mind. When I realized that this is what was happening, I was kind of in shock, and I wanted to teach it, of course. But yes, can you understand what I'm saying? Because that is what happened. I mean, the ego continue being there, the mind continue being there. It's the same mind. It's the same mind, but the identification, the ego transformed. Can you see it? So this is a note that I got here, that you need to develop a new identification of the ego. And I mention like that because is that true? Is that true? At the end of the day, is the ego playing a role, right? So you need a new identification, new thoughts, new perspective about that. And as I have mentioned, then comes the other side of you realizing that you are not this human, you're not this body. You're not this being. The real you is the everything. Once she realized that he's in a dream. So, yes, look for security in your existence. Look for security in your own existence. That is key. Let go of insecurities, give yourself respect, love, take care of your center. That's what I mean. If your center is good, nothing of the outside can bring you down. You're so strong. So it's equal. You maintain yourself, you don't have anxiety, you don't have fears. That is so important that you feel inner strong. And again, Miyamoto Musashi, this is a quote from Miyamoto Musashi. There is nothing outside of yourself. Marcus Aurelio, the same thing. At the end of the day, is an inner world, is an inner game. Yes, I led thinking so much about my wishes, and I shift my perspective towards surrender to being grateful. Right, that is something that I apply to myself, and that is so important. And the results will come. It's like you doing some workout. The first year, perhaps you don't see results, but eventually, by you being disciplined with yourself, you will see results. And eventually, this is something key. This is the final keynote that I got here: is that you do the things because you are full. And that's something that I failed myself. I used to do things feeling like, oh, I don't feel like it. And of course, that was part of my new identification that was trying to create with my ego, for example, like do it without thought, without doubt, discipline, right? No motivation. But eventually, once I got the body of movement, in continued movement, in activities, in new habits, I just let it like go, flow. Meaning, I wanted my body to feel like it doing the activity, right? In another state, in a state of fullness, with my full heart, for example, not in anxiety, not in fear. Right now, sharing this video, you can see if I am not 100%. You can notice that. I can notice. So that is so important at the ordering of doing the things. How secure are you? How do you feel? So again, I truly believe that knowing yourself, it is so key in order to feel good. It's about not needing anything. As I mentioned, contentment is something that I have found out vital in my own existence. To just don't need anything, to be just enough in this moment. This is enough. I don't need anything else. I am okay. And it can be difficult if you want things, if you are grieving, right? So you need to find a way to accept everything the way as it is. From Miyamoto Musashi. You got this. Spend time with yourself, know yourself, and bring a new identification towards the mind. And this dream, this life will continue. It doesn't matter. It will reach a destiny, an end point, but you change the idea of the experience. That's what it is. So it's not longer suffering from the mind, for the mind. It is satisfaction. It is a nice view. It is relaxation. It is love. It is don't care. It is taking care of myself and the people that I love. It is doing what I like. New perspectives. Thank you.